So before we get into this, Dan, this is the new game from the creators of Skyrim and Fallout,
Oh,
and it's supposed to
no
be
way.
like a
Bethesda, they're
space.
called.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a space game. They've described it as a NASA punk world, so it's
So
kind of like
basically,
realistic.
so in other words, we better not land on the moon in this game
Okay,
because
so
that would
we're
be a
just gonna
lie.
start it before Dan goes down.
Dude, don't even get me started, man.
Oh boy. All right.
This
That's
this
actually
this
very
this
funny.
game is a lie, man. I hate it.
It's playing for you guys, right?
What?
It is.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I see a logo and it's rolling and it says Bethesda.
And I'll probably skip around through this some.
Well, already I have to say I like the soundtrack, even though it's not doing too much yet. But
I agree. The soundtrack is nice. Let's skip around though,
okay, have you watched this
so we can.
first, or-
Yeah,
I've seen
no,
it twice now.
I've
Oh,
seen
okay.
this. Yeah, I think I've seen it through
It's the
twice
first time,
also.
so.
We'll go to some of the gameplay just because I feel like that'll lead to discussion.
Yeah.
Oh wait, hold on. I passed something I want to talk about actually.
Yeah.
You guys see those like alien-like things? Those big bugs?
Yeah.
Because I saw people saying stuff after this, like, are there even aliens in this? And it's like
okay.
they haven't shown any sentient aliens, if you will,
That is true.
but
Okay.
they have shown life forms on some of these planets. So
Yes.
I
There's
kind
like
of,
3 or 4 different ones I think I saw in this video.
I don't
So
think.
what?
Sorry, I'll just say this real fast. I don't think they're gonna show any sentient aliens in this. I don't think they are. Sorry, go ahead. What were you gonna say, Dan?
I was just gonna ask, like, what's the overall, like, storyline of the game?
Right. Okay.
'Cause
So they
I don't
haven't
even know.
revealed much on that,
Mhm.
but
Okay.
basically,
Interesting.
This is actually the first thing really revealed of it.
the first
Okay.
like big thing,
First-
I guess.
Yeah.
Basically you join like this organization called Constellation, and it kind of sounds like you're the last people like exploring a lot of space, you know?
Oh, so this is like a future set game where
I
space
think
has
it's
already
300
been
years in
inhabited,
the
or like
future.
okay.
So yeah, a lot of planets have been inhabited.
Mm.
And I think that part of the story was like, I guess they had expanded and kind of stopped exploring maybe, but they haven't really revealed a ton about the main.
Yeah, no, the
Campaign, so-
biggest thing is like those rune things or those like artifacts
Right,
that you
yeah.
RuneScape?
find.
Dude,
Yeah.
Yeah.
RuneScape cameo?
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna just play this also.
Pretty sick.
Okay, this part looks exactly like No Man's Sky.
I know.
It's funny.
What is this, Minecraft?
I like the big
What are we
machine.
doing?
Kinda like Minecraft. I actually like the noise of that machine. I hadn't noticed that before.
Good sound design. Preet.
I'm interested to see how many different weapons and stuff there is.
Yeah, me too. And it sounds like the weapons are very customizable also.
So
Mm.
I'm assuming it's
Um,
open world, right?
Okay, so that was one thing I was actually about to say.
Okay.
The crazy part about what
totally
we're
different.
looking at right now is that you can explore this entire planet,
Oh. Just
you know?
okay.
Yeah, it's interesting though.
It's crazy.
I watched the interview with what's his name? The guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you watch that interview?
I read some about it. I haven't watched it fully.
Okay, so he said that like it's not like No Man's Sky where you go from the sky onto the
Right.
planet and
Mhm.
where.
Yeah.
Like there's no like in between. So it's like there's in space flying and there's like being on the ground.
And I
So I'm
think
interested
that's
to see
smart.
that. I think
Yeah.
that's better. I fully agree. I'm saying it depending on like how I guess dense the planets will be with like different stuff. I wonder what different places you can like land at, or if you
Mhm.
literally just like point at a spot and say land here, and it just does the automate like animation.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see that.
Well, I have a feeling that like so let's take this planet we're looking at right now, for example.
Mm-hmm.
I think, you're going to have maybe a couple landmarks that are
Mm-hmm.
directly tied to the main story. And then, I mean, the rest of the planet is going to be procedurally generated with, there may be some small, like, generic stuff throughout.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, these planets are going to be huge. Like, 99% of it is going to be, like, not really anything, probably, right? You know?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what like yeah, I'm interested to see that because that could potentially like fall into the whole No Man's Sky. Like I'm roaming through this whole planet and there's nothing, and
Yeah.
it's like actually kind of gets after like
Yeah.
2 hours is nothing. And you're like, wait, I just
So,
completely wasted time doing
one
this.
one thing that I think they're setting themselves up for, and I think that this is absolutely genius. If you look at Skyrim,
Hmm.
especially one of the biggest modded games of all time,
Yeah,
and so basically what they're doing is, Dan, they said there's 1,000 planets in this game.
No way, really? Wow.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that is kind of like No Man's Sky, right? Like, wasn't it kind of similar
Ish.
to
No
that?
Man's Sky is like millions,
billion. Yeah,
Well, it was
probably
like
billions.
generated like randomly or something, right? Something like
Right.
that, or
And
yeah, okay.
like there's a difference between using procedural generation. I mean, they like Todd Howard even said they use procedural generation in like Skyrim and I think Oblivion.
yeah,
Um and then going back in and maybe like, handcrafting stuff on the world over top of it or
Yeah.
changing some things. Whereas No Man's Sky is straight up just random.
right.
Which is still impressive in its
Good
own
night, Dad.
right.
Yeah, so that
Um
which is also crazy because like I mean it did make some of like the monsters and stuff look kind of funky, but it's also crazy like
definitely.
some of the after a couple updates, some of the like worlds are insanely awesome looking,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
on No Man's Sky. As much flack as it gets, like it
It
really looks
it
good
it
now.
doesn't
Like
get
it
much
looks,
flack these days, though. To be honest,
yeah, I
it's pretty
bet, yeah,
universally loved at this point with all
yeah.
the
It's
updates.
just crazy all the updates they put into it. It
Yeah,
looks awesome, and for everything to be like I said, procedurally generated.
yeah.
It's like the
Essentially.
Star Wars prequels, not getting as much hate anymore.
Gosh.
People are like, man, we didn't realize how good we had it.
Well,
Yeah.
No
We're
Man.
not gonna get
Let's
started
be
with
honest though.
that.
No Man's Sky did need those updates, or it would
Yeah.
still get
Oh
as
yeah.
much crap as it did at the beginning.
Yeah.
But what I was saying about the planets is, I think
Hmm.
that yeah, like a lot of these planets are going to be like kind of whatever. Like you can go build a base there, which that'll be shown in the video later. Some of that stuff, but I think also it's going to be like people are going to be able to like make mods and probably like make
Yeah.
entire campaigns on some of these planets that
Mm.
are, maybe like it's a mining planet right now, but somebody will be able to go in and make a mod that makes this one planet like insane.
Yeah.
That'd be
So
cool.
I think they're setting themselves up, and to a degree it's like it's still like gonna be Skyrim-esque with the amount of
Hmm.
content in the game, and then there's gonna be like almost like a sandbox aspect.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like half sandbox,
Hmm.
half like
Yeah,
a
exactly.
big RPG adventure
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
Hmm. Now, I don't know
So
if I'm getting too far ahead of myself here, but how long has this game been in development? Because I'm just wondering, wasn't that because like Cyberpunk when the trailer first came out, like weren't people really excited about it? But then it came out and it was just like super unfinished. But do you think this game has that potential as well? Like it looks really
It
impressive,
is
but
tough.
then
Yeah.
it's
like
But
it comes out
Bethesda
and it's
like
just like,
doesn't have that ramp.
so
yeah, okay.
I mean, neither did CD Projekt Red. But
Fair.
so the thing with I will say with this is you have to go into this game expecting bugs because
Yeah,
Bethesda
that's what I
is
was thinking. It's like,
known for having
There's
ridiculous
always been
bugs,
bugs, yeah.
but the
yeah,
games are still good.
Yeah.
Like the games are always good. It's just like this is like the most ridiculous thing.
I don't have a
Ever.
problem with bugs most of the time.
I don't
Like
either.
unless
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
unplayable. Like
If
Right,
it's
Cyberpunk,
like
I literally got to a point in Cyberpunk I could not play it. Like because it was
Yeah.
like I couldn't drive.
didn't you
at
play
one
it on
point.
Xbox One?
Yeah.
Yeah, well So
Yeah.
I probably had a much better experience at launch with Cyberpunk because I played it.
Yeah.
I played the Xbox One X version on the new Xbox.
Oh no, I
but-
might have played it on the X.
Oh right,
No,
you
I'm
actually
not-
got
I'm
yours
not-
pretty quick.
No, I think I did get mine. Yeah. Well, you got mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
it was
still
alright.
like had just a bunch of bugs. I thought it was
Yeah.
cool though. I wish it would come to Game Pass because I do want to play it again.
Right, because you sent me your copy.
I sent it to you, yeah.
yeah.
Right
That
about
unboxing.
But I'll probably honally not. I mean, there's so
They're
much
coming out with
now.
I think a new DLC port soon.
There's so much coming out now. It's just like
People still play it.
not worth it.
I mean, probably not that much, but there
Yeah, I
hasn't
don't
been
know.
any like big updates. So there actually was one big update a couple months ago for like the new
okay.
consoles.
Interesting.
Let's watch this video some more.
Yeah, keep it going.
It would appear that pirates of the Crimson Fleet are using the
Oh, and with this, no, I'm just kidding.
facility.
I love the gun look, dude. The gun,
Yeah,
the
the gun's
P90.
cool. I love the like vibe they're going for with this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just not a lot on the market like it.
No, I mean it could potentially be so unique. Yeah, this is interesting too.
It looks like a little choppy, to be honest, some of this combat.
Whoever's playing is
So-
god awful.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, so it's interesting. Like, just to pause for a sec. Like
Yeah.
the oxygen meter down there
Oh,
is
okay,
like your
yeah.
stamina. So like,
Yeah.
I don't if you roll it back a little bit, like when he sprints, like the O2 goes down,
Mm.
and that's interesting too because I wonder like
Huh.
if they're gonna incorporate that into like a skill tree as well.
Probably, yeah.
And
I
also
didn't
have,
even
like,
notice
different-
that.
Yeah, have like different aspects with it. Yeah, I mean I can probably.
Oh, so it's like
back just
a
little bit.
O2 versus CO2
Yeah, so
Yeah,
like
yeah, okay.
like
When
watch in a little bit, like when he starts to sprint.
when it builds up.
It
There's like
drops
too much
down.
CO2. I guess.
Yeah, so the CO2 I assume is like, yeah. So see how it's like.
like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
CO2 is
Right there.
taking over, so he's not able
I
to
don't know if
breathe.
CO2 is supposed to be on the top, or if it's on the bottom where it like you said, it's like on.
Like it's one or the other. That's
Or he's
kind of
just
what
losing.
I'm thinking, maybe.
Yeah. I also like the slow transition to your guns. I think that's a nice feature.
Yeah.
So, quick comment about the guns here. Do you mind if I
Mhm.
pause it real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, it is.
So, I'm surprised they're not using more like futuristic weapons, given the fact that you said like this takes place somewhere in the future, and you know they're like
Mhm.
exploring space or whatever. Like we're just
Mm.
using regular old like machine guns and stuff. Like, do you think at some point they're gonna introduce like
Yeah,
different,
I don't
more
know. They've
futuristic
literally
things? Like,
only
I don't-
shown these guns.
That's
Yeah.
a good question.
Yeah, that
So
is
I'm
a good
just
question.
surprised they
though.
would take that approach.
Well,
but-
I guess it really depends probably on if there are alien, like sentient
Oh,
alien
yeah,
races.
That's true. That's
And
true.
so
Yeah.
if they're going to
Good point.
reveal that later, I'm sure they'll probably have like
Mm,
their own
right.
class
Yeah.
of weapons.
like
Yeah,
Kinda
and I
like
mean they
Halo,
have
yeah.
like Fallout weapons they have like the laser weapons and stuff, so those are kind of futuristic
Mhm.
as well. So they already have kind of like a cut thing to go off of if they wanted to slightly
Yeah.
for like
So we
laser
gotta
weapons.
see.
Good question, though. Good question.
Yeah. Good,
I'm
good,
kind
good,
of
good.
leaning towards, I think I was saying this earlier, that I don't think there's going to be another race of aliens like that. Or if
Yeah.
there is, maybe it's like they're going to like have it in the lore, you know, and then maybe
Mhm.
like in the
Okay.
second game or something. That could be, you know,
Yeah.
20 years from now, whenever
or a
that comes
DLC
out.
or something.
Yeah, or DLC, yeah. So
I like this digi pick.
I
I think it's cool.
really like this lockpick mechanic. I thought this was cool.
I've done it similar in a different game. I can't remember what it was. Or maybe it was Cyberpunk that was like that.
Maybe.
It's like amen, dude. You know?
Yeah. I think it feels weird because it doesn't look like there's any kick on the gun at all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't very accurate
That's true.
without aiming in. It's cool.
Yeah. I actually do love the music in this game. It feels very grand.
Yeah. I love the being able to fly and like kind of slowly go down and shoot.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. And on the top, I love the fact that you can like shoot a part of somebody and like they blow up and stuff. I love
Yeah.
like things like that.
It does seem like the AI of the enemies are like really bad then.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah.
that I
Depends,
believe that's
yeah.
supposed to be like the opening area.
Yeah.
So
that's
maybe
what
I
it's
think
like
it's the beginning of the game.
Yeah. So maybe it's like teaching you how to play
Yeah.
still, you know.
Yeah.
And there's like
And they were level
prompts
2,
in between
those
them.
guys.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure that red thing is the level, the red number.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Kind of reminds me of, like Destiny. I
Yeah.
kind of don't like it. I hope you can turn that off.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like it kind of breaks immersion a little bit. So
Does this turn the sound down for you guys as well?
probably not. I don't
No,
think.
yeah, I was trying with that because it did get pretty loud. so-
Yeah. I just
had to
turned mine down.
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
In that interview, Brian, I was kind of surprised. They said that there was only 4 major cities in the game.
I was gonna bring that up
Oh,
later.
really?
Yeah.
I was gonna bring that up later. Yeah. So like that made me nervous because like there's 1,000 planets and you really only have 4 major things. Like
Yeah, that's a little weird.
that's a terrible like
That's weird.
percentage.
But
But it's interesting because if there's like those are huge, supposed to be huge cities.
right.
They're supposed to be very
Right.
intricate and a ton of stuff to do. So if throughout is sprinkled like little villages or like little
Right.
towns or whatever, I'll be fine
Right.
with that.
I mean,
But
the city
yeah,
looks pretty cool.
I was a little nervous with the 4. I was like, 4? Like that's it? Like,
Well, I think that's what he probably meant because he straight up said this one right here, New Atlantis, is
the biggest.
thing, like the biggest city of anything they've ever created. Like,
Yeah.
and I mean, if you think back to Fallout 4, I remember like I think it was Boston, right? That was pretty big, like at the time.
Yeah.
And I feel like the way they're talking about this one is that it makes it look like it's freaking tiny.
Yeah. Well, it like when they go into it, I think it's a little later. Like it does look like very cyberpunk-esque, where there's a lot of like different layers of the city and things like that, which is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when he said that, I was a little nervous too.
Yeah.
But it also makes sense though, if there's like 3 factions for one faction to have each thing, like a main hub for each faction.
True.
That does make sense to like
and
maybe just have like these big cities.
It might make sense for the lore too.
Yeah. I also hope they're a little bit spread out.
Yeah, no, me too. And I do think there will be like villages, like smaller towns and stuff in the game, I'm sure. Just because there's got to be stuff to do, at least on some of the planets.
Right.
Like I'm not expecting all 1,000 of the planets to be included in the main campaign. Like that's just not going to happen.
Yeah, which is totally fine. Yeah,
but like the premise of like people are not really exploring anymore. You could kind of like see from a lore perspective, like, oh, everybody just lives in these big, huge, sprawling cities, and there's like a few of them and a few like couple different like systems.
I mean
and stuff
that
like that. So.
that and the reality of like 1,000 out of 1,000 planets, one is maybe inhabitable.
No, that's
like
a good point.
in reality.
True. Yeah,
like,
that's true.
But like I'm sure they, I mean, they're tech far enough to inhabit different planets. But yeah, my thought was that too. Is like if each one is on a different planet, so it's 4 different planets. It's like okay, like that's interesting enough. Like there was 4 planets that they thought was like good enough to kind of stay on and go off of out of 1,000. So I can understand that. With different, and like I hope they do this too, where it's like there's a couple of them in you go to in No Man's Sky, where it's like a dead galaxy
Mm-hmm.
where there's like 10 planets or whatever, but there's like no sun, and they're
Yeah.
all just like destroyed planets. That's kind of cool too.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
I'll play it. Planet of Jemison. SSNN. I'm gonna try to remember that.
Or NNSS.
That's
Yeah, I was
that's
like, which
possible.
one?
Yeah,
Apple Watch?
probably the other one. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, this is some of the lore.
Constellation, we have a lot to talk about. We're all
I love
here
that guy.
because we're committed to the biggest question of
I'm a big robot guy.
what's out there. These artifacts could be everything we've been looking for. As to what they are, what they're building. You'll be part of solving that puzzle now.
So I don't know if this is just for the the showcase or whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing Dying Light 2 again,
Mm-hmm. Nice.
and the speaking in that and like the mouth movement is so bad that it
I've
like
heard that before.
actually
Yeah.
takes away from a lot of the like talking for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And I thought this actually looked decent, which I was happy about.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's I've like played some Bethesda games in the past, and everything people say is that like sometimes the like gameplay can be a bit clunky. Maybe it
Mhm.
doesn't always feel the smoothest, but in terms of like voices and voice acting and like that aspect of things, Bethesda is like top notch.
Yeah.
Like one
So
of if not
that
the
was
best
very
in the
nice.
industry.
Yeah.
So
Especially when you're trying to get something like it's not as much when it's like a crazy fantasy looking person or like
true.
a beast or something, but when they're like normal looking humans and they're
Yeah.
just like mumbling words, you're just like, this looks just terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Found something?
The new guy found it.
You dug up the artifact, right? That means you saw it. The visions?
The artifact you found appears
The
to be
vision?
one of many, scattered across the galaxy.
So I think
Oh.
we saw one of the
Artifact you found appears to
I'll
be
pause
one
it
of
here. I think this is probably one of the planets where one of the cities is Paradiso.
Paradiso.
It looks like very Fallouty.
Espanol.
Yeah. And then this next one right here, this is very like cyberpunk-esque.
This is cyberpunk ass. Yeah, this is what I was thinking when I was talking.
So that could be like a really cool city to explore.
Yeah.
If we can
Oh, those are probably all four of them actually.
Yeah, yeah, those were probably the other
This is
three,
the fourth
maybe.
one. Yeah.
This one looks kind of run down. Oh wait, well actually here's another one though.
This could be a little town. Actually,
Possibly,
It's not
yeah.
this
one of the
kind of looks
cities? Okay.
smaller.
You see a
This
moon.
reminds
I
me
don't know
of
if it's our moon.
Borderlands for some reason. I don't know why.
That's funny. It reminds me of Star Wars.
That actually is a better comparison.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another thing. Like,
Beautiful, isn't it? The man who sold me this told me that it spoke to him.
Of course, the settled systems is full of groups with other priorities.
right? Okay, so that's I think an important thing to remember for this 1,000 planets. They call, I think where people live, they call them the settled systems. So I think, like, she even said it at the beginning, it's like the reason we're here is to find out what's out there. So I think,
Yeah.
like, a lot of the systems you can go to, I'm assuming, are just unsettled systems, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is cool. I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of like a realistic like. Yeah, there's a ton of planets we haven't went to. I mean, it's like
Mhm.
Star Wars in the sense that there's the outer rim.
The Outer Rim, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's where I
Yeah.
feel like everything takes place in the Outer Rim, but
Yeah,
at least, like,
there's so much
movie-wise.
happening in the outer rim.
Yeah.
not as much in the prequels because it's like
Yeah.
Coruscant, but
Yeah.
which just disappears after the prequels. But whatever.
The fleet doesn't follow the rules. A
Agree to work for UCC, Steph. And together, we take down these cutthroat pirates.
So funny. I want to be with those guys, but I just don't like that guy. I don't know what it is.
Aquila
just-
Bad
Siddiq.
He
vibes.
looks like a bad guy. I'm telling you.
Well,
Yeah.
oh, maybe you're onto something then.
I know.
We're peacekeepers.
Anti-hero?
Protect the people of the Free Star Collective.
Here we go again with that.
When you serve with the Crimson Fleet, no one quits. The only way out is death.
I think it's
Those guys
awesome
are
you
gonna
can
be
be
the
a part
bad
of the
guys.
Crimson Fleet.
Yeah.
Like I hope it's like Mass Effect
Oh.
where you can just be a total douchebag.
A
Like if
bad
you want to
guy, yeah.
have like a run where you're just a bad guy, you can be a bad guy.
I know. I always want to do that, but I just don't have the.
Yeah,
Like, I
I
always
can't
am
do
like,
it either.
I
but
gotta
like
be the nice
option.
guy. I know.
You feel bad.
I know, dude. I don't know what's wrong.
But we are not stopping.
Oh,
That is a
shoot.
cool looking thing.
Yeah.
That looked
We're just gazing at
spooky. Sorry, I was going backwards. It's like
Yeah.
Dead Space vibes.
But we are not
Yeah, or
stopping.
like Half-Life.
Yeah.
Most Dusties don't even make it this far.
Because whatever lies at the end of this
Oh,
road,
that place looked cool with the crystals.
Ooh, that
I
is
love
cool.
that thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
forever.
Oh. What was he walking to there? Do you know?
I think it's like the part of the artifact
this
or
guy?
whatever. God Howard. Todd Howard that people call him
Okay.
God Howard. It's kind of like a meme. We'll skip to the character creation.
Ooh,
It's
okay.
our most
Yeah, boy.
flexible yet.
Huh.
You can customize all the elements of how
I
you
spend way too much time doing this stuff.
Yeah, no, I definitely will too.
You'll pick a background. that
Now, are you going to
This
make the
is
character
cool.
look like you?
I like this.
Probably yes. I always do.
No, I usually make it just look absolutely absurd.
I.
Oh, but Chris, you said yes?
I think that's what I always do.
Okay. That's interesting.
And
The
I
different
make just the
approaches
most
here.
absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Brian. This part is so cool. Like the
Yeah, I like
backgrounds
this.
and the traits and stuff.
Yeah. And he was saying in the interview that there's going to be like it's probably not going to be much, but
Gangsta.
it's going to be a little bit of this in there where it's going to somewhat tinily affect somewhat sort of affect
Story.
like different things in the
Huh.
story.
That is cool.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like that's one of those things that
I think it's just going to be
It's
what
a
people say.
little
Like
bit,
after this,
yeah.
it said like the guy says, "Oh, it looks like you were a
right.
diplomat." Or whatever.
hmm
So,
And then might
yeah,
like
the chef
affect
is so
some
funny.
Small things later.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Homesteader.
The chef, you're like good at like healing and
Yeah, that's what I would
little
assume.
knives.
I love
Those are, like,
picking
the
like
two things.
diplomat or something like that in this game, where like you have like persuasion or like you get like more clever
Mhm.
voice lines.
Says here you spent some time as a diplomat. Having a
Yeah,
way
so
with
here it
words
is.
may
Right.
prove useful.
So this is the guy you don't like?
optional traits. And
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's a bad guy.
Oh,
Like,
introvert
look at this trait
kid
impact.
stuff?
Yeah, so this is
Extrovert.
another like.
Wait,
this is a
hold on,
trait.
hold on. What is kid stuff? I'm sorry, what is that?
I don't
I
know.
don't know, but it's cool. Like you pick
But-
introvert, so
yeah.
it marks out extrovert.
It's also cool because like there are bonuses, but also negatives.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't they heard about
unique
ambiverts?
advantages and disadvantages.
Wait, that's illegal.
But it's not
Wait,
just
yeah, you see that one? That was the starter home one.
Hmm.
That's so cool.
advantages.
You can just pick a starter home. You own a small house on a peaceful little moon, but it comes with a $50,000 credit mortgage.
Yeah,
with
that's so
Cal
funny.
Bank.
That's so funny.
that's-
That's kind of cool though.
That's so awesome. I'm totally gonna do
Yeah.
that crap.
That's great.
Like so, like that brings like so many questions. So like when you're base building, like is it gonna be like kind of like Animal Crossing? Like, are you gonna like have to borrow money from the bank to be able to build your base,
Oh,
and
I
then you
see
have
what
to
you're
turn
saying.
around and like
Hmm.
farm like stuff from the
Aw.
planet to then pay it off? Because
Interesting.
I am all in for that. Because if that's
Well,
like another
it's
game within a
probably
game-
more like Skyrim though, where like you pay for the house.
Mhm.
Like in Skyrim, you pay for like your house,
Yeah.
and then you also pay for more things that like you get the base house, and then you pay for like furnishings in your kitchen,
Yeah.
and then you
gotcha.
pay for like a tower, and you can choose like between like in Skyrim, it's like do you want like a tower, like a witch tower, or do you want like a chef's kitchen? And you have to
Right.
choose one of them.
Mhm.
So it's probably more down that path because it's Bethesda.
Yeah.
Is my
This,
thought.
but the gal
But
bag
this is
thing
funny. But this is funny.
is
Yeah, that's so.
like,
I know it's true.
like, because if you can borrow money from them for this, it would make me think that maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wonder if you have to buy land.
Yeah, I wonder, well, maybe on like certain planets you do. Okay, like that.
Yeah.
That's probably not gonna happen. Like that's one of those things. It's like would be cool, but like
Yeah.
maybe it's like we're
Overthinking it.
we're like building up too much hype for the game.
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know?
don't hype it up too much.
Yeah.
It's like it's not gonna be freaking Animal Crossing and
Yeah.
a Bethesda game in one.
Not just in how you can look, but in how your character
But it
plays
might have some
and
elements.
develops.
Maybe, who knows?
The skill system combines the best from our previous games, and you can unlock new skills as you level up, and then you rank those skills up by
Yeah, this
using
seems
them
cool.
and completing challenges.
I think the little like things look cool. I don't like the tree look though.
Yeah,
I think I'm just
agree.
so spoiled with the Skyrim trees.
From
Just
running
so
research
cool.
projects,
Yeah.
resources you find, to crafting weapon mods needed to survive.
Okay.
Yeah, this is cool, like the weapons.
So I'm noticing with some of these weapons, like one of those auto ones, it kind of looked like Cyberpunk. You know how Cyberpunk had the different weapon types, and one of them was basically like auto aim. You know, like you
Yeah.
didn't have to aim right at them, but
Oh.
the bullets would basically
they'd
hit
go
them
to 'em.
either way.
Yeah.
One of these guns kind of looked like it had that.
Homing bullets.
Like that
Oh,
one.
yeah, you're right. I
That
can see that,
AR
yeah.
one kind of looked like it had it.
And you can build your own outposts.
Yeah, so this is like
These
the.
act as
Oh, so this is an
away from
out.
home
Yeah, so
for
like.
survival
Outpost,
and
yeah.
resource generation.
So it's interesting though. He did say a home away from home, so maybe there is
Right.
a separate home that you get
In
or
the
can get.
city.
Yeah, so maybe they're gonna do it like
Okay.
Skyrim, where like each of
Good
the 4
catch.
cities you can get a house there.
Yeah.
And then you can also build bases on different places.
Oh, and
it would be I really hope they do the whole mechanic where like you can just teleport to your bases.
Yeah, probably
That would be
they
sick.
probably will. But I bet you. Okay, maybe I'm making this up, but I think you're onto something with the home away from home, and I wonder if depending on which faction you go with will determine where you can buy a house or not.
Oh,
That's
interesting.
true.
Like maybe
Yeah.
it'll be something like that. Like if you go with the Crimson Raiders, you can buy a house in their
Like with
town.
them.
But if
Mhm.
you're not, you have to buy it, somewhere else.
Hmm.
I think that'd be cool. Maybe.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Also, I want all the houses anyways, but that's a good catch. I did not catch the home
Yeah.
away from home because it does make sense for you to have a house like in New Atlantis or something like that.
Right. And it was also weird to me that like you could start with a house when you could just easily build one.
Anywhere,
Like
yeah.
essentially the
exactly.
minute you get there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting. And I wonder if that house is the only way you can get that house is if you take that trait. That would be cool.
So
that would also
maybe
that
this
would
is
be
a
really
dumb
cool. Yeah.
maybe this is a dumb question on my part, but what would be the advantage of starting out with the house? Like, what does that do for you? Do you know?
We don't know yet.
I don't know. Yeah, I have no
But
idea.
like ultimately, it is like a role playing game, So it's like
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's
that
more
could
of
just
just
be
like
part of it.
Yeah.
It
It was
Yeah.
mostly
could have no
cosmetic
benefit.
in Skyrim as well. There was
Yeah.
some cool things you could do in it. And it's like
Yeah.
a storage thing. But yeah, other than that, it was nothing much.
okay. So the utility is to be determined.
Yeah.
Right.
Although I will say, if they take the if they take the No Man's Sky mechanic in where you have no space in your backpack, a house in the beginning would be
Oh.
very nice.
Yeah. I think they made that a little bit better, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's
After a
it's
while.
much different, and yeah.
Yeah.
You can hire characters you meet to keep it up and running.
That is cool to me.
But
Yeah.
that's not all. You can even build
What's this?
your own spaceships.
No freaking way.
This part is gonna be so cool, dude.
Yeah, I'm also gonna spend too much time on this one.
It actually looks
Yeah.
pretty sick.
You can
Can you
choose
build like
crew
a
members.
Millennium Falcon? Or...
Probably.
Having
something
your
like
own
that.
crew is
Completely
nuts.
customize the look and layout.
That's
And
pretty cool.
yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay.
so cool.
Oddly enough,
This customization is so weird.
this is gonna be like the stupidest reference of all time here, but this reminds me of, I think it was in Kingdom Hearts 2 when you
Yeah.
could build
Yes.
your own
Actually,
like
yeah.
toy spaceship thing.
Mhm.
Like I don't know why,
Yeah,
just
yeah, I
seeing this
do
for some
remember
reason
that. Actually,
reminds me
that's
of
so
that.
weird. That's
anyway.
so funny.
That's where they. That's where
I'm sure
they
this is a little
got
different,
That's
right?
where they
inspiration
got it.
from.
No, it's exactly the same.
Manufacturing.
It's
Anyway.
also weird because the costs are on the right. Like, I wonder if you customize this
And yes,
in
you can
in like
completely
a shop. I
customize
don't
the
know.
look and layout.
Wait, I think they mentioned that. Let's listen to this again because I thought they said that you could do that in a city or something, or maybe they mentioned it earlier.
You can choose crew members,
That's so cool.
and yes, you can completely customize the look and layout. There's loads of different modules, ship manufacturers, and more. I
That's
have to
so
say,
cool.
it's
There's different ship manufacturers. Like,
Yeah.
so cool. We just absolutely love this.
maybe they didn't say anything about that though.
It's not just.
But maybe you have to like go to different cities to like buy
Yeah,
stuff
it's
from
probably.
the manufacturers,
Yeah.
and you can just like edit it anywhere. Maybe
It
I
would
don't
be
know.
cool too, just like finding blueprints or something like that.
Yeah, they might have stuff like that, and then you can like
Yeah.
craft it. I could see that
Yeah.
happening.
From engines to shields to weapon systems, because yes, you can fly it.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, how lame would that be if you build it and then you just like can't
And you
use
can't fly it.
It's like-
That'd be absolutely awful. The dogfights look cool too.
Oh, there's dog fights? No way.
Alright, sorry, spoiler.
Dude, this is sick.
This I thought visually was the best looking part of the game.
The inside, the HUD looks just very clean.
Yo. There's a Saturn, I think, right?
People are
Do I know my plans?
speculating if the solar
Yeah.
system is going to be one of the settled systems.
Ah, okay. Yeah,
We'll
that'd be
see.
cool.
I don't know.
Neo. Those look like freighters.
Yeah, I was wondering if like you're going to be able to have a freighter in the game,
Yeah.
but I feel like they would have revealed that if you could.
Yeah, I agree. This is so cool.
This really does look cool.
So they were saying that you can, or in the interview,
Mm-hmm.
they were talking about being able to, the Todd guy was talking about being able to like board other ships.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So like you can, instead of like battling them in a fight, you can essentially like hijack
Dude, that's awesome.
and take them
No way.
over.
And bring your
Yeah.
crew on, maybe.
Yeah, well, they say
Stormtrooper style?
he essentially said you could steal ships, and I was like,
So-
what?
For modding.
Can you have
too.
more than
There's
one
going to be a
ship?
stormtrooper mod,
That would be
and you
so
can
funny.
invade
Yo.
other ships. It's going to be so cool.
As Darth
That's
Vader.
awesome.
Right, exactly, dude. Think of
Yeah,
think
this-
of the Star
honestly-
Wars mods for this game, or
Yeah, that'd be
anything
It's
in
the biggest
that
Star Wars
realm.
game. I'm telling you.
Like, I honestly feel
Seriously.
like this section right here almost looks like a game in and of itself.
Well, they
In the sense that
describe
it's,
it
like,
that
just
way.
Yeah, I mean,
they
it's just-
describe it like
this is
that's
really
why they
cool.
didn't want it to be like No Man's Sky, how you can fly down onto the planet and then,
Right, it
fly
wanted to
up
be
off. They
totally
wanted it to be
separate.
like two pillars of the game, basically.
Yeah.
Because there's like
Which is
there's also
smart,
like
I mean.
space stations and stuff. They've said that you can.
Yeah.
go
Well, they
to.
passed one, yeah.
Yeah.
We can't wait for all of you
I
to.
wonder if they're gonna do like ammo as well. Like, do you have to buy it? Do you have to fill ammo
Oh,
and
yeah.
buy ammo?
Oh.
Probably.
land in
I
your
mean,
planet,
Craft it maybe.
but you can also land
Yeah.
and explore
okay.
anywhere on the
Maybe.
planet. And it's not just this planet; it's all the planets in the system.
It's interesting, like the planets have different stats almost, like
Yeah, look at that.
like gravity,
Tight,
like
Noticed that. I didn't.
different G's
Oh, like
on the
moderate.
planets. Yeah.
temperate.
They had that
different
for
types of atmosphere. No Man's Sky.
yeah, they had
too.
that for No Man's Sky.
Mm-hmm. You can scan it just like No Man's Sky, dude.
Yeah. Structure
And
just
not just
looks
this
exactly like No Man's Sky.
but
That's like
Yeah,
hilarious.
seriously.
Alpha Centauri, Jaffa.
4 planets, 8 moons, 0 outposts. That's interesting.
Hmm.
So what do you think the magnitude
1,000
stat is? Is that like
Magnitude
magnetism? Like
4327. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
guess
Also,
we'll
look at
find
that
out when
Alpha
we play.
Centauri level 1. So, like, what is that?
Yeah, that's
Like,
interesting.
can you like
Yeah.
level up a planet? Like, what
Yeah,
is?
what like what is
Or
it?
maybe it says like what level you should be going into the planet.
That's
Maybe that's
possible.
how they do.
Okay.
Maybe that's how they're gonna do the
That's a good point. Yeah.
thing. Yeah. It also says
Yeah.
on the bottom, which is kind of cool, 15% survey. I wonder
Oh,
if
yeah.
like
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
you can like 100% a galaxy and get
Right.
or that's probably its side mission where it's like 100% this galaxy.
Yeah.
100%
I mean,
five galaxies.
if you can level up a planet, which I think Brian, you're probably right with that. But if you can, maybe it's like somehow you can cultivate, let's say in the previous stats it said like flora and fauna.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's ways to like introduce more life in
Yeah,
the planet
life
or
into
something.
the
I don't know,
planet.
but
Maybe.
who knows?
Sure.
Or like
Also-
increase those stats even.
Looking at this map, I feel like it's telling of the way the game is going to be. You see these ones that appear to be settled, like Alpha Centauri,
Yeah.
Cheyenne, Jaffa, Boli, and
Yeah,
then you
Jaffa
see,
looks like a small little planet. Like,
yeah,
or like a tiny two sun.
it does look
right?
weird. But also,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think these ones that don't have a name next to it, I
Mhm.
think are places we're probably going to be able to go in the game. There's just not going to
You would
be
think, right?
a big city
Yeah.
or anything there.
Right.
They also could have a name, and you have to like get there to find it.
Right. And I bet you if they have anything, it's going to be more like, oh, there's an outpost here. And
Yeah.
maybe there'll be some small quest lines like, oh, I need you to go harvest this thing off this planet, but it's really dangerous. Can you go do
I
this
wonder
for
what
me?
the thing up top of the planet is. See that little like
Oh, the dots?
Oh yeah. There's like a little insignia.
There's like a little like
It
an
could be
insignia.
like
It kind of looks like a
whoever-
robot, but
like whoever settled it or something. I'm not sure if that's like their logo or something.
Oh,
yeah, I don't know. Well, it says like this Alpha Centauri has 0 outposts. So I wonder what that means.
Yeah. That's weird.
So I wonder what outposts technically are.
Hmm.
Maybe outposts are like the things in space.
Yeah, that's kind of what
Like
I
a
was
space
thinking.
station.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah.
planets, all open for you to explore. We can't wait to see what you find.
I can't wait, dude.
The music is so good.
It's good.
Those wind turbines look very cool.
I know, they seem so sweet.
This is cool. Dinosaurs.
Okay. Another thing I will say, and I know everybody's like, oh, it looks like No Man's Sky. These planets look 10. No, you could say more. Like, they look so much better than the No Man's Sky planets. Like,
From what
every
we've
single
seen, it
one
looks
they
pretty
just showed,
Incredible, I'm not gonna lie.
like, these look so much better.
They just look more realistic.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like in my opinion, like No Man's Sky
Like,
has
look
a
at
very
this one.
like has a
Yeah.
I mean that
It's
looks like a
tropicalish one.
No Man's
Or-
Sky has a
or
very
that
like
one. That looks so
playful,
cool.
weird.
Yeah, it's got
look
a
to
unique art style for sure. The
Yeah.
game doesn't look bad, but
This
it's
is
like,
more realistic style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that looks crazy to me.
Okay, like take like a planet like this for example. Are
Yeah.
people really going to complain if there's like not that much on here, but you have an entire sandbox where if you want to build outposts or something like that,
Right.
and like hire your crew and stuff like that, or I don't know, like I mean, if it doesn't take away
I
from
definitely
the
like
rest of the
if
game,
yeah,
you
that's
know?
that's my only thing. Like if there's a ton of if there's 700 planets that are sandbox and like there's just like let's say 100. I mean, there's probably less than 100, but like if there's 100 planets that have something in it that are part of a story or a side mission,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be perfectly happy. Like
Right, yeah.
Exactly.
like I was happy when they panned out in the beginning and it was just the like solar system. I was like, okay, I thought it was gonna be a little bit
pretty
bigger,
cool,
but
yeah.
like there's a couple planets like you can go to that's gonna be sweet and you can
Mhm.
like traverse them all.
Yeah.
Like the whole planet. And I was like, that's pretty sweet. And then it like kept going out and I was like, oh my gosh, this is humongous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Like I don't necessarily need like that many. That looks
Yeah,
cool.
this
Although
is
it looks not as it's hard to tell, but it doesn't look as clean as the other ones.
Yeah.
Cool looking though.
I don't know, man.
The only other thing with the planets, I just hope like if they are somewhat procedurally done, that they at least, I mean, there's a finite amount of them, so
Yeah.
they should go through them and make sure that
Yeah.
2 of them don't
Yeah,
look identical. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You would hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would hope. I definitely hope.
You never know. I mean, I just kind of like how it seems like there's so many different things you can do as you're playing the game. Like it's not
Mhm.
just going to be like, oh, you're just following the story the
Yeah.
whole time. Like you can just do whatever you want for a little bit and then go back to the story. And I just kind
Right.
of
Yeah, well, I
appreciate
did that in
aspect of it.
Skyrim. Like,
Yeah.
I would just roam around in Skyrim.
Right. I mean, that's like the
And
best
like,
part of like the open-ended
yeah,
part. You know?
I love that aspect. And then being in like, I think No Man's Sky, like base building and stuff is so fun. Like, I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So like having that in a game that also has an insane, hopefully like an insane story and like gameplay, like
Mhm.
that's gonna be awesome. Because you can go and like literally do nothing of the story one day for 10
Right,
hours
right.
and just
But
like
now, let
roam
me ask you
around.
this though. Let me ask you this. So
Oh,
if
I'm
the story
all ears.
turns out not being great, would that knock the game down for you? Or do you think
Definitely.
the open-endedness would be enough to just be like, okay, subpar story, but it's still
No,
fun to
because
just
that's
do
my
whatever?
problem with No Man's Sky. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
No Man's Sky, it like, I mean, there was a lot of issues with it, but like No Man's Sky story is like lackluster,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
in the beginning was nothing, like actually nothing.
It
There was like get to the center,
legitimately was nothing.
get to the center, that was it.
Okay.
Get to the
So
center,
I would,
and then there's more, and that was
yeah,
that was the
Okay.
whole
yeah,
thing. There's
yeah.
more
So I
planets.
would definitely be
Nice.
like, it. There has to be a story. Like if there's not a good
Yeah.
story, I'm gonna be
I'm-
upset.
I'm
I would
not-
And
agree. I
side
would agree.
missions.
I'm literally
Like there's not enough
worried.
side missions either.
I'm not.
Yeah, I'm
worried
not.
about
It's
the
a
story at
Bethesda
all.
game. Like,
Yeah.
me neither.
Even
Me neither.
at worst, it's like a 7 out of 10, and that's
Yeah.
gonna be good enough.
I mean, out
You're
of
more
the
than
Fallouts that have come out and the Elder Scrolls, I have not disliked any of the stories.
Yeah.
I even liked 76 and just thought it was just a broken game and kind
Most of that was
and
not
it was hard to play.
made by Bethesda, like the main team.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
So, I mean, they like helped, but like,
Yeah.
they
And
were
I
developing
haven't really played
Starfield since 2015, basically.
Right, yeah. And I haven't played Elder Scrolls Online, so
Yeah, that's all right. Different.
I played it
studio
a
as
little
well.
bit, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that, and like I mean, Fallout and Skyrim, like they both have so many side quests and things, so I'm not worried about that. But the amount of side quests that I'm hoping are going to be, like, I also hope that like there are side quests on planets that I will not go to in the whole gameplay. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where
Yeah,
like you just
me too.
there's just 1,000 planets, like I'm not going to hit them all, and like there's a
Right.
side quest that I could have gotten something, you know,
Well,
and I missed it. Like that's cool to me.
I would hope that it like a lot of the planet exploration is going to be faction based too, so it'll like promote multiple playthroughs. Because it's like if you join this other faction,
you're gonna be at this
the
planet.
story's going to take you this way, like for the
Oh,
faction
that's
story.
a good point. That's a good point.
So, I mean, it's not going to get anywhere near 1,000 planets between the like 3 or 4 playthroughs, but
Yeah.
Hope not.
still.
I mean, yeah. But even like just going to a planet once, I mean, you could get through at least, I mean, minimum 100. Like, if there's 100 side missions, let's say, which there's probably more. I mean, Skyrim probably. More.
It's going to probably be way more than that, but yeah.
Yeah. So there's 100 side missions, and each one you went to like you just had to go to a different planet like just once. You had to go get this thing at the planet and leave. Like that's an easy 100 planets that you're visiting with like no exploration really, and like you're just going to it, and it's just cool enough to like land and see what it looks like. I don't need to explore the whole planet really. But then just touching down, doing the thing you have to do, and then going out, like that's something that's cool too.
Yeah.
So there is a chance to actually hit like a good amount of the planets.
Yeah. Well, also think of
Yeah.
it this way. They, like Todd Howard said, the main campaign is going to take 30 to 40 hours. And I would
Jeez.
think that would not really include faction quests at all. Maybe like
So
a
he
couple.
said that is the campaign, not side quests.
Exactly.
That's not veering off of the
main
mission.
storyline. So like
Yeah.
maybe there's like one or two faction quests that is built into the main storyline, but there's probably like way more.
There's probably definitely there's probably
You know.
definitely a bunch of like faction.
But it's like that's okay, you've got main storyline 30 to 40 hours. You got faction storyline, which maybe it could be 5 to 10 hours, maybe it could be more.
Right.
And then you've got all
Side
of the
quests.
side quests in whatever villages and towns. I mean space stations too.
Dude, I put like 80 hours easy into Skyrim. And Todd Howard said Skyrim was a 20-hour campaign.
Yeah, no, it literally is.
So
and then you like take a step back, and then it's like you also have the entire base building thing, which is
right.
Like it sounds like the main point of the base building is resource gathering. So you can like hire a whole crew for that, and then you can hire a
I
whole crew
wonder
for
if they're
your
gonna do
ship,
it with the
and it's like-
research thing too, like they do in No Man's Sky, where like you hire the guy to like he gives you a rover or something like that, and like then you have to like find all this stuff.
Okay, that's another thing that I'm curious about in this game. They haven't shown any planetary exploration, really.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
a good
true.
So
point.
like, is
It's
there
just
going to
like-
be
yeah.
like some kind of like rover that you can get in, or
Right.
maybe like a cruiser, like Star Wars?
Maybe you can build one. I don't know.
Right? Yeah,
knows?
but I mean, probably.
All right. But
Yeah, no,
I have
hopefully.
I have to pee like so bad. So
Okay.
I'm going to be
Dude.
back. So
Okay.
I'm probably going to put more hours in peeing than people are going to play this game. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm excited.
Yeah,
For sure.
I'm very excited. I feel like I'm not overhyping it that much. I feel like I'm taking a relatively realistic approach of what we're gonna get,
Yeah.
and I mean I'm excited. Like,
Yeah.
will there be bugs? Will it maybe feel a little weird, like some aspects? Sure, but also like I
Yeah.
know the world is gonna be like the worlds, I guess if you will, are gonna be like awesome. Like
Yeah. No, it's super cool. And honestly, like if those 4 like areas are good enough and really cool, and like the other stuff is meh, it's still probably gonna be a sweet game.
Exactly. Like even if the planets suck and the 30 to 40 hour campaign is good, I mean it's gonna be
still
good,
gonna be a fun
and
game.
it's on Game Pass, so I don't even
It's-
care that much.
It's
because
free.
I'm not paying 60
Exactly.
to 70 bucks
That's
for
what
it.
I'm saying, dude.
So like
it's free. It doesn't even matter.
like you can't even get that upset about
can't.
it
That's
if like
what I'm
one
saying.
aspect's not good.
Dude, all the games are just on Game Pass. It's just
Right.
Game Pass is the greatest thing ever. It is.
Yeah.
I'll say it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
It was so funny. I was like when I was watching it live and with
Mhm.
my friend Mike, he was watching it live too, and we were like texting back and forth.
Yeah.
And after like 3 or 4 of the games, he goes, "Dude, I'm getting a tattoo that says first
Xbox.
release Game Pass." I was like, "That's so funny."
That's rich.
First release
Oh,
on Game
man.
Pass.